Hello, my name is Eva. This is my channel, Eva Therapeutic Wellbeing. And if you didn't watch my previous video, I'm challenging myself today to record 3 videos to overcome my self-doubt and to break through and put myself back out there and really get my knowledge in the things I'm doing in my life to help other people. And I have been experiencing for the past couple months a significant block and a lot of self-doubt and a lot of difficulties. And one of the things that I've been doing to really move my energy and to help expand myself and expand the time that I'm spending on myself to improve myself in every day, in every way. A friend of mine bought me a book and gave it to me. Many of you might be familiar with this book, but it's Miracle Morning. And this book has significantly improved my well-being. And I want to tell you a little bit about my journey with this and then the things that I have done to modify it for myself and the changes that I have seen since I started doing this. So I've been doing this, the strategies from this book since about November. And I have noticed significant shifts in my overall functioning, my overall sleep, and my overall well-being. And I have fine-tuned these things specifically for myself. But for those of you who are struggling, for those of you who don't feel like you have a lot of time for yourself, and people are telling you, oh, you should meditate, you need to exercise, you need to work, you need to journal, you need to do all these things. Well, when you're a busy mom or busy parent or business owner, it's very difficult to carve out that time for yourself. And the basic principles of this book, which I love, and at first I was a little bit resistant, is getting up really early and getting the things done early in the morning. And honestly, this was easy for me because I tend to be a morning person anyway. But the book talks about getting up at like 5:30 a.m. and it is life-changing. It seriously is. I will tell you the things that I have noticed in myself after I kind of go through what the book talks about. So the book is based on a principle called life savers. And if you don't have a lot of time to read, you can get the audiobook. I believe the audiobook is about 2.5 hours, so you could listen to it in the car or at work. If you have a desk job, you can just put your earbuds in and listen to it into chunks. And I would suggest this is the journal. I would suggest getting the journal because it really helps you. It has months of journaling in here, and it helps you, it helps structure your day. And I like this so much. I actually have been doing this on the weekends too, because it makes such a huge difference in the way that I feel and the way that my house runs. So the lifesavers are based on, is based on starting your day, number 1, with silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing or journaling. Now, some of these things I already had been doing in the morning, but I'll be honest with you, most of the time when I'd wake up early, I would get on my phone, check my messages, check my emails, and get on social media and, waste a good hour of my day sitting there drinking coffee and, really having absolutely no structure. This gave me a structure and something to look forward to every day. And so the suggestions in this book say to do 5 minutes of silence, 5 minutes of affirmations, 5 minutes of visualization, 20 minutes of exercise, 20 minutes of reading, and 5 minutes of journaling. Now, I have modified this for myself. I spend at least 60 plus hours on myself in the morning. And think about that. Think about exponentially, if you're spending an hour on yourself every single day, how that, and you haven't been, how that adds up over time and how that can really shift. I mean, we're talking about the butterfly effect It's a little change can create a profound tidal wave of movement through your body, through your life. And I will tell you the things that I have noticed since I started doing this. So the way that I have structured this is I no longer need an alarm to wake up. That is one thing that I have noticed since I started doing this. When I first started doing it, I would set my alarm to about 5:30. Now my body wakes myself up because this is so has been so profoundly changing for me. My body is in anticipation of getting up and doing this every day. So at first I needed to set my alarm, and I was like, kind of like, oh, I don't really want to get up that early. But there is something to be said about getting up when nobody else is up, and just the silence and the quiet and the time for self-reflection has been exponential for me. So now what I've noticed since I started doing this is, number one, I don't need an alarm to wake up. I wake up on my own, and I'm typically waking up between 5 and 5:30. And my kids don't get up till about 6:45, so this gives me an hour and 15 minutes strictly to myself. And I have done this differently on different days. Before I go to bed at night, I kind of set my intentions of what I want to work on the next day. I might spend more. Now, this is very nicely laid out. The 5 minutes of silence, 5 minutes of affirmations, 5 minutes of visualization. You can absolutely do that. But what I have found is that on certain days, I focus on different things. And one of the main things that is a non-negotiable for me every day is breath work. And that isn't specifically listed here as a strategy, but that has been one way that I have modified for myself to really improve my level of functioning. So I every day do a 10, sometimes 5 to 10, sometimes 15-minute breath work session. And breath work has been something, and I'm going to do a video specifically about breath work, but breath work was something that I really resisted for the longest time. I was like, I felt uncomfortable. I didn't really know what I was doing. So I had resisted breath work, and I think sometimes the things that we resist are the things that we really need to be doing. And I have seen profound changes in my level of functioning since I started doing breath work. And I'm just going to quickly go over a few, and then I will do a separate video on breath work on a later date. But I have noticed where with the breath work, I can tell and I can feel where I have blockages and where I have restrictions in my body. And so it has enabled me to hone in on places in myself where I know I'm holding trauma, and I know I'm holding pain, and I know I'm holding emotion. And that's so much about what I do with my patients, is working on releasing trapped emotions from their body. And it's really hard to do that work on yourself sometimes. We're so busy. I'm so busy helping others that I haven't spent as much time on helping myself. So that's really helped me focus in on where I'm holding on and where I have restrictions. Another thing I've noticed is improved clarity of thought and improved energy with the breath work. And the most surprising thing is, with this morning miracle, miracle morning, I lost weight getting up an hour earlier. I actually lost weight. I didn't change anything. About, I was still exercising the same amount. I was actually sleeping a little bit less, but I really feel like these strategies, the breath work and focusing on myself, I started to lose weight in places that I had struggled with. So those are profound, and it was fast too. I mean, it only took, maybe 3 or 4 weeks where I started noticing that my body was shifting, my mental clarity was shifting, and I was having these big breakthroughs. I was starting to remember my dreams, which had been a huge block for me. I had really struggled. I mean, I would remember dreams here and there, but my dream state started to improve, and I was starting to remember more of my dreams. And I as part of the ACE exercises, scribing or journaling is one of them. And that's one of the things I started to do was I started to write down and journal my dreams, which was a profound breakthrough for me. Any of my friends that know me know that I complain that I don't ever remember my dreams, only on occasion. And so this has really, that's been a huge breakthrough for me to be able to remember my dreams. So that was another thing that I noticed. So I improved clarity of thought, weight loss, more energy, remembering my dreams, improved sleep. I no longer need an alarm to wake up. It is life changing. So some days I'll work harder on exercise, and like the breath work, the exercise is pretty much a non-negotiable for me. That is another block that I had been resisting for a long time, and probably around August, I would say, end of July, beginning of August, I also pushed myself forward, and I said no longer am I making excuses, and I decided that I would exercise daily, and I have found so much peace and so much comfort in walking every day. Even here in the wintertime, it's January, actually the weather has been amazing, but I have been bundling up and going outside, and I have found that moving my body, even just with walking, you don't have to we push ourselves so hard, and we think we need to do this crazy workout. No, like getting outside, moving your body. I put in my earbuds. I listen to my affirmations. Like part of this is affirmations. I'll listen to affirmations. I have a couple of awesome YouTube channels I can link below that I absolutely love for affirmations that have been really, really helpful improving my mindset. And I'll put my music on or my earbuds, or I'll listen to some of my favorite channels and walk. Sometimes I record myself talking. If I've had a dream, I'll do a voice recorder. Sometimes I do voice recordings to my friends. It's just a really nice time for me to be by myself. I'm naturally introverted, so it's just more time for me to be alone and to self-reflect, and also work on my body and move that energy. So non-negotiables for sure: breath work and exercise. So I would love to hear if any of you have done this miracle morning, and the things that I have seen, the benefits that I have seen. I've really been encouraging my patients to do this, especially if they're busy moms. I know sleep is also very, very important, but working on ourselves and putting energy and effort into ourselves is also extremely important. And so balancing those two things, balancing the need for alone time. A lot of times people will get up early and they'll load their dishwasher or fold laundry, but will they do breath work or meditate or do some prayer or some visualization or set intentions for their day? I cannot stress to you enough at how much that these strategies and doing this consistently has shifted and changed me. I wrote some other notes that I wanted to share. I was kind of writing some ideas down before I did this video today, and a couple other things I wanted to share was the flow of my household. So probably out of all the things I've mentioned, the thing that I have noticed the most is I feel like a lot of times we wait till, a lot of times we hit the alarm, we sleep in, and I think a lot of times what we do subconsciously, or maybe consciously, but I think this is subconscious, is we utilize our sympathetic nervous system or our fight or flight nervous system to get things done. And so a lot of times we'll procrastinate, or we'll wait till the last minute, because when there's a last minute, that gives us like that boost of adrenaline that allows us to like push through to get things done quickly and rush. And how many of you have a rushing household in the morning where it's like, let's eat, let's do this, let's get this done, and you try to cram all that stuff in, to get out the door in time for school, for work, all that. I don't think that that is truly a good lifestyle. I think it really programs the body to need that push, to need that rush in order to get things done. And I think from like my kids in general, like getting up and rushing them out the door, I don't think that's good for their nervous system. And I don't think that's a good way to start your day feeling like that. And so the biggest thing that I can say for this is that my household runs so much more smoothly because I already have my stuff done. I already have my things done for myself. So when I get my kids up, I'm very peaceful. It's a lot more calm. All I have to do is focus kind of on them. I have all my other things accomplished that I want to get done before they have to leave for school. And we're not rushing. It's not a rushed thing. It's a like very calm. I know that's hard to believe. Calm. And that's one thing I really want for my family is harmony and peace. And I don't want my kids to feel like they have to push themselves like that in order to get out the door. I want to set good habits for them to feel like, you know, they can get up and start their day and it doesn't have to feel panicky. It can feel good and motivating to start your day. You put on some music, have a nice breakfast, get their stuff packed up, and get out the door. And it's not that like, let's rush, let's be late, you know, or we're going to be late kind of feeling. So from my notes, that is one of the things I've really noticed is that my family's day starts so much more intentionally and so much more peacefully. And who would have thought that adding an extra hour to my morning would make such a difference for me? So hopefully you decide to make some of these changes too. And it was extremely easy and it was extremely motivating and extremely worth it. Thank you so much for your time today.